Hey there guys, welcome to another video. In this video I wanted to give you a look at the BlackBerry Z10. This is one of the first BlackBerry 10 devices, and this came out in January of 2013. I just felt it was an interesting device, and I've always kind of liked BlackBerry phones. I don't have very many of them. I do have a couple older ones. I have a Storm 1 and a Storm 2. And this is definitely a big upgrade over those, as those were a couple years before this came out. This one, however, is it's interesting for mostly its interface, not so much its physical appearance here. So what we have here is a 4.2-inch 720p display. We have a 2 megapixel camera up here at the front. We have it is flanked by these kind of big plastic chins. It's not the nicest look, I don't think. We do have our earpiece right here. And on the back, we have this kind of rubberized dot kind of pattern going on here with the BlackBerry logo big in the back here. You will see some residue here, and that's from there was a sticker on this when I bought it. We do have an 8 megapixel camera out back here. You have your camera and your flash right there. Pretty typical design, not too bad. It's got no FCC branding or anything crazy on there, so I like that. It's just a kind of a plasticky feel here. On the sides here, we do have on the right side we have our volume rocker, and then you have a mute button, which is kind of nice. You can see that the plastic trim on the back, it just doesn't click into place anymore like it used to. So it's kind of got gaps all around. On the top here, we have our sweep wake button. We have a 3.5 millimeter headset jack and a microphone. On the other side here, we do have a mini HDMI out and a micro USB for charging. And there you can see this is kind of a bad spot. I don't know if you can actually see it, but that's where it's kind of not clicking in the most. You got this kind of creak here. Yeah. On the bottom here, we have nothing. We do have our microphone and then a little part where you can actually open the back. So if we do open the back, it does pop off easily because this is just not working very well. But we do have a removable battery. We have your micro SD card and then your SIM tray right here. And there you go. So that's the back there. So this is not water resistant or dust proof or anything like that in any way, shape, or form. So the real interest of this phone is really not so much its physical appearance. It's actually this interface that it has, which is kind of interesting. So this is before the iPhone 10 and before Android phones had, you know, gestures and stuff like that. It's just really kind of an interesting thing. So you can wake it up by either pressing that sleep wake button or, you know, holding it up. It has a little sensor. It uses the gyroscope to notice that you're there, or you can use a gesture and just unlock it that way. So that's kind of cool. So what you're presented with when you open the phone is your multitasking pane, which also doubles as kind of a widget pane. It's kind of an interesting thing here. So as you can see here, I have a couple of apps that I opened up recently, and you can see it has this kind of nice little bounce. So whenever you go through something, it has a nice fluid, you know, movement, a little bounce at the bottom, at the top. And then as you can see here, we have the weather app, and because I opened it, it now turned it into a little widget that actually updates live in the background. Another app that does that is the clock app. So if I open up the clock here, and that's another thing here. So if you wanted to go to the menu here, you can either click the little hamburger menu or you can swipe to the left. So here's our clock. If I swipe up, it's now in the multitasking pane, and as you can see, it now went to a live updating widget. So that's kind of cool. Now, unfortunately, you're only limited to 8 of these. So if you keep opening apps and going between apps, these will move and they'll eventually go away. So it's not really a full multitasking menu per se, because only 8 of them stay in this little menu here. That's not to say that they won't stay open. It's just that it won't keep them in this little multitasking pane here. So on this menu here, this is what pops up when you open the phone. You have your battery indicator here. You have your Bluetooth indicator. We have NFC right here. We have our time. We have our Wi-Fi. You would have your cellular status right there. And then you have your BlackBerry Messenger, BlackBerry thing there. At the bottom, we have 2 shortcuts here. Or 3, I'm sorry. We have our phone shortcut. We have a search shortcut, as well as a camera shortcut. And that is persistent across all screens. So if you're in your app screens or your home screen, that's what you got there. So on the lock screen here, you do have your wallpaper. You have your notifications here with a little bell. And click that and you get a little preview here. And then right here, you do have this little night mode thing here. So if you pull this down, drags down this, you get a clock right there. And after a moment or two, it should just show the clock. So this is before, like, no OLED screen. This is just an LCD screen, but something kind of cool. Just put on your desk, and there you go. You got a nice little clock right there. Pretty cool. Now, what you might see here is this is our Blackberry Hub, and what this is basically it aggregates all of your text messages, BlackBerry messages. If you had Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that other crap, it puts it in its hub. So it's kind of cool. So all your notifications, everything goes here. However, the weird thing about it is that you don't really have a notification shade where it gives you just a little preview of your notifications. You literally go here and you click it and it takes you to whatever you're doing. So there's no real shortcut per se. It does have a Android subsystem in it, so you can load Android apps on here. However, you're limited to Android 4.3, so Jellybean. So I was able to load a couple of apps here. I did sideload the Play Store, which can't be done. I did sideload YouTube Maps and Chrome. As you can see here, I have a YouTube app shortcut on the home screen here. This YouTube app I don't believe works, so it may just crash. Let's see if it actually loads. Yeah, so it crashes. So you're really limited on what you can use here. It does include some apps that came with the phone here. So it came with Box, it came with Evernote, came with Password Keeper, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, that kind of thing. These are old versions of apps, so I'm not even sure they work. I may try them eventually, and we'll find out. But if you didn't put the Chrome or the Play Store on here, you're limited to the BlackBerry World App Store and the Amazon App Store, which they are both bad, and you're not going to have very much that you can do with this. So I'll just open up the BlackBerry World and just give you an idea of what you'd be getting. So we have, these are just some of the apps that they have here. You're really limited to some of the, just not very many things here. So we got racing, top apps. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, that's all. That is all you have. So top games and apps, let's see. Oh, okay, so we do have a little list here. So Ancient Continent, Online TD, Racing 3D, Fury World, Call of Dead, Duty Trigger, SoundCloud, PlayCloud, stickers for BBM, H&M. So yeah, not a lot of choice there. You do have the Amazon App Store here also. That's kind of limited too. And so what this initially came with was BlackBerry 10, and what this one has is its most up-to-date and most recent version, BlackBerry 10.3.3. And as you can see, it takes a while to load some things here. Now, it is in its low battery mode, I believe. Let's see. For some reason, it doesn't let you actually pull that little notification shade down at sometimes. So what the Amazon App Store looks like, it looks like it's literally just a web applet. Honestly, it doesn't even look like a good app. And here you can kind of see the time it takes to open things here. Very, very slow. So it eventually will load, but as you can see, we can't pull down the notification shade to, yeah, it doesn't even let you do that. I'm not sure what this is. What is this? 2 hours and 44 minutes. There's a count for something. But as soon as I get out of it, now I can go to it. And just to give you an idea of what you have here, so we get our date, we get whether our SIM card or cellular information there. You've got your settings, rotation lock, mobile network, airplane mode, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, alarm, notifications, all that stuff. You can do your flashlight here, which is nice. Let's see, does that actually work? Oh, it doesn't seem to work. Okay, well, we also have our brightness and bedside mode, so some different things here. And I do like that it's very fluid and it seems to work pretty well. One interesting app in here that I just thought was kind of interesting here. So battery saving mode actually comes on automatically at 20%. So it's kind of like low power mode in iPhone, and I think Android has a low power mode as well. So it basically just reduces your CPU, reduces the brightness of the screen, blah blah blah. So Blackberry Blend is kind of an interesting app, and unfortunately I don't really think I can show you this, but it says it seamlessly brings messaging and content that's on your BlackBerry smartphone to your computer or tablet, get instant notifications, read and respond to your work and personal messages, and access your documents, calendar, contact, and media in real time on whatever device you're on, powered by your BlackBerry. And you can connect by Wi-Fi, mobile network, or by USB to your computer. So that is actually kind of cool. And so as you can see, each time I open something up, it goes into this little tray. And do you remember the clock was there? It's no longer there. So if we go back to it, it's actually going to reopen it completely. Yeah, so it just reopened it completely. And here's just a quick look at the camera app here, because I just wanted to see this. So at the top here, you do have your flash auto on or off. You have your most recent photo here. You do have your switching for the camera here. See, there's me. Switch it again. So we have our camera button here. We do have our video button here. It does have autofocus. If we click here, we get a lot of options here. So we can switch our camera. We have our auto scene. So of those, we have action, whiteboard, night, beach, or snow. We have our flash options there. We do have our different ratios, so 1:1, 4:3, or 16:9. HDR, we have a timer. We also have something called time shift. And what this is basically kind of like a live photo, kind of like a best shot kind of thing. So basically it does burst shot. So it'll take about 3. And then you can go through and you can choose which one is the best one. And once you find the best one, you just hit the little checkbox here. And there you go. It'll save the nice one that you chose. So that's kind of a cool feature, especially for 2013. We do have burst mode also, so you can do burst pictures, and you have your panorama mode as well. So it's a pretty nice camera app. It is an 8 megapixel camera on the back, 2 megapixel on the front, if I didn't mention that before. And here's a test of the video on the BlackBerry Z10. One other thing I want to show you here before I go is the wallpapers that are included. So it does include quite a bit of abstract kind of wallpapers. And I think that's because of the way this home screen is, and it is kind of like a futuristic kind of thing. So we'll go into our settings here, and you can see it's really fluid. I do like the way that they did this, and they got this to be very nice and fluid. Let's see, where is our display here? There we go. And we can set our home screen wallpaper, and I'll show you a couple different ones. So it takes a while for them to actually bring up. So as you can see, it takes a minute to come up here. But there you go. So we've got, you know, just a couple of abstract kind of wallpapers here: dark plateaus, forms, glacier, gradients, patterns, polygons, that kind of thing. So they are pretty nice, but you can add your own, obviously, if you wanted to. So it is a nice interface. It takes a little bit of getting used to. I'm not sure how I feel about the centralized notifications without having anything come out of notification shade. You do get a little notification that will pop up here, as I saw in some old videos, but nothing too crazy. It does have folders, so you can actually, like, you know, put something on top of something here. Get a folder if you want to do a folder. And then you can also see our keyboard here, which has like predictive text. And it does not have... Okay, anyway. It doesn't have like a swipe to text, and I'm not really a fan of the... It's just kind of wish you had like something pop up above it to tell you what you're typing. Has a nice sound though. It's not haptic or anything like that. You have like very limited lines. It's kind of hard to differentiate between the keys, and they're all capital. So when you go to, you know, doing caps lock and not caps lock, they're all caps all the time. So you have no way to know the difference. But yeah, it's an interesting interface. I think it's pretty futuristic, honestly, if you're looking at it now, because considering that's all we use is gestures and everything now. No home keys, no back buttons, no nothing crazy like that anymore. But yeah, this BlackBerry 10 is really, really cool. This phone itself, I'm just a kind of boring, bland design, especially coming from BlackBerry, who made, you know, the keyboard phone and made it cool. I just thought that this would be, you know, I guess I would expect more. But then again, we saw they came out with some really cool touchscreen phones later on. And even though BlackBerry is now not making any phones right now, hopefully in the future they will actually make new ones, because I think that they still have a lot of life left in them. Anyway, so this is just a quick look at the BlackBerry Z10. And I may do some more videos on some other BlackBerry phones in the future here, but I definitely like this phone. It's just yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please leave me a like. If you want to see more like this, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.
So guys, if you like this video, slap that like button down below. If you want to see some more, press the subscribe button also down below. And then hit that bell. I'll see you guys in the next video.